You guys remember the 80s? Any of you guys old enough to remember the 80s? It's by round applause. How many people are old enough to remember the 80s? Those were good years back when midgets were cool. Remember that? No, like a lot of people have shirts that said "Boss, Boss." They're playing. You know, you can watch Different Strokes and Webster and watch midget child stars not grow up. Remember that? That was nice. That's wrong. I used to watch wrestling. They had a team called Dick the Bruiser and the Crusher, and Dick the Bruiser had another partner, a midget named Little Bruiser, and I think they named him that because they had small heads. He leave little bruises. Like, I don't know how that went, but he used to hide under the mat. And if you started whooping the Crusher's ass and he was out and you started beating Dick the Bruiser too, Little Bruiser would run up the mat, top speed, because he was standing straight up. He would run right up the mat and get a step stool, or somebody would give him a boost. I don't know how he got in, but he got in the ring and he would start hitting your knees. I couldn't make this shit up. Google it. It's real. And when he got you down to his size, that was your ass. That's true. That's a true story. Quick question, since y'all brought up midgets. If a midget tells you your hair smells good, shouldn't it be considered sexual harassment? Now, maybe you picture them standing on the table. I saw her walking by. I don't know what you guys were looking at. I would talk about the 90s, but I don't remember much of it. I was drunk that decade. I remember nothing about the 90s. I remember, I'm sure in 98 I met my wife. Because I remember waking up in 2002 out of a drunken stupor with a wife and 2 kids. So I'm sure, sure we met in 98. I've always been able to deal with my wife, but I've never been able to deal with her in the car. That's always been my problem, my wife in the car, you know. Even when we first met, I let her drive my car, and after a few months I said, don't drive it today, it's got a knock in it, I gotta fix it, it costs $200. If it throw a ride, it's not worth it. She said, okay. She called me an hour later on the E-way. Threw a ride, car's fucked up. She said, I'm gonna wait here for the tow truck. I'll be here when you get here. Said, no, don't be there when I get there, please don't. Go on the bus, baby, don't wait for me. That's always been our problem, is just don't be there for me sometimes, you know. And we're in the car, and the seatbelt is a problem. I said, honey, put on your seatbelt. She always said, I'm not worried about it, put on your seatbelt. So I finally told her, look, if the police pull us over, I'm gonna get a ticket and I'm going to jail. She said, you're not going to jail for a seatbelt ticket. I said, yes I am, because when they give me that ticket, I'm going to knock the shit out of you for not wearing your damn seatbelt. That's so wrong. But we've always had problems with my wife in the car. She's the only person I know that actually has a backseat driver's license. She does. It empowers her to annoy the driver no matter where she is in the car. Back seat, passenger seat, in the truck when I can get her in there. You know, whenever. I love my wife though. She's my favorite person. I always tell her it's us against the world, and it is. It's us against the world. That we're gonna keep it that way too, because I know she's worried about me, because she's worried I'm gonna go to Hollywood and start messing with women and drugs, you know. And I know she worried. Ray Charles did it in Braille, so I know she worried about me doing it. I try to be good, though. I try to be a good. I'm not a good citizen, though. I realize I'm not a good citizen. I was in Chicago, and I was in the Sears Tower, and this lady got in the elevator with me, and she got in the corner, and she clutched her purse, and I was thinking, this is some bullshit, you know. Nobody wanted her purse. First of all, it's just full of nothing but old people drugs from Canada. That's all that was in there. You know, the good shit, you know. So instead of getting mad and saying something, I just stared at her, and I went. And then I stared at her for the rest of the ride up. We were in the Sears Tower. We had 96 floors to go. I just stared at her. When we got to the top of the Sears Tower, her purse was the last thing on her mind. In fact, when I stole her purse, she was glad that's all I did. If anybody would like some Canadian medicine later, meet me outside. Oh my goodness. And if I had to get a prescription for medicine, I want to go to California and get a marijuana prescription. Everybody got excited. Sounded sexy, so ooh. I like it too. It made my nipples hard. I love marijuana. That's what I do. And they keep calling it a gateway drug. You know what? All drugs are gateway drugs. The alcohol you're drinking right now would lead to aspirin in the morning. It's a gateway drug. You know, you're in college, you're drinking tea, and then you get a job, you're drinking coffee and latte, and then you start doing overnighters and projects, and you're taking speed to stay awake. Next thing you know, you're snorting coke, painting the walls of your cubicles. All drugs are gateway drugs. I had to get me a new weed man too, because my last weed man was just undependable. You know, I called him up and said, "Can you come through?" And he said, "Yeah, I'll be there in a minute." Now he black, so I'm thinking the ghetto minute, you know, half an hour. He called me 6 hours later. He said, "I'm on my way. You know what? Too late now. I'm fucked up on Vicodin. I don't need you no more." Half-ass street pharmaceutical sales representative. You know, if you're gonna do some shit, do it right. It's supposed to be a businessman, you know. Well, you know, my wife always tells me I'm a sex addict. When you think about it, I'd rather be a drug addict than a sex addict. I mean, really, because, you know, the drug dealer is open 24 hours a day. My wife, not so much. The drug dealer never doesn't feel like selling, like, "No, Will, I don't want to sell you no weed today, man. I'm not in the mood." He's always in the mood. He don't get jealous, you know. You've been buying weed for somebody else. Was his weed better? You don't hear none of that shit, you know. It's a better relationship, I think, with the weed man. I learned this. I learned with my wife. I learned that men can't say no to sex. I didn't know that. I hurt my leg one night at work, and my wife wanted to have sex, and I didn't because my leg was hurt. And she said, "Well, let me see the injury." I said, "What?" She said, "No, prove to me your shit hurt. Let me see the injury. I don't believe it. You've never said no. 15 years you haven't said no." I said, "Honey, we only been married 13. Oh, fuck was that the last 2 years?" But I don't want to get into it. I couldn't say no. So women can say no whenever they want to. "No, I'm tired. The kid, we got to get up in the morning. I got to go to work. It's been a long day. The kids in the car with us." It's always some bullshit. Okay, that last one was legitimate. That last one was. I learned when I got married, I'm not allowed to look at anybody else's breast, just my wife's. I can't look at any other breast. So I look at them anytime I want to. Just every chance I get to, I just walk in the house, I pull her shirt up and just, "What's going on down in there?" It gets annoying at Walmart in the linen section, but that's my wife, you know. Gets annoying at the PTA meetings too, but I don't give a shit. That's my wife. I don't care. She has this whole no other women thing. She likes me to adhere to, you know. She's selfish, that's what I say. If I had a man as good as me, I would share. I'm just saying. She's jealous. She gets jealous. I was here one night. I was doing poetry one night, and this lady named Cass, lovely guitarist. She said, "What are you doing later, Will?" At the end of the poem. But I didn't think anything of it. But I always show my wife how the stage show went. So I got home and I was showing her how it went, and she heard that. She said, "Who said that?" I said, "Oh, that was Cass." She said, "Well, you know what? You can't talk to Cash anymore. You can't talk to Cash. You can't watch Penny Proud. You can't listen to 50 Cent. None of that. No money in your life. No change. It's just paper dollars with her." Thank you guys much. I'm Big Will. Enjoy your night.